do this thing.
You ready?
Yep.
Let's rock it.
Welcome to Beers with Nigel. It's a podcast about beer
And other stuff.
and other things. Presented this week by Dire Oil Graphics.
You know what? I think it's gonna be multiple weeks.
Oh, yeah. Well,
They are the Uber
the official sponsor.
official presenting sponsors of
Beers
Beers
with
with
Nigel.
Nigel, a show about beer and other stuff.
And other stuff, yeah. So we've got a fun guest tonight, one of my favorite dudes in the beer scene. It's Rodney Beagle from Halves Brewing. He's actually in the brew house. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on? You know, you guys interrupted my keg cleaning, so we're best friends now. You gave me an excuse to stop cleaning
That's
kegs.
awesome.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
like I always tell Nick, brewing is mostly cleaning, so there's that.
Yeah, you glorified janitor, right?
It's like math and crap.
I mean, at least you get to drink the product, right?
Well, that's true.
With some science and stuff mixed in, but
Yeah.
what's going on, guys?
We are drinking beers. I brought Nigel for our drinkers tonight.
Yeah.
I brought us some jam bands.
Some jam bands.
Boulevard jam bands.
Tell the people what you're drinking. We have one of our listeners. His name is Junior.
Junior!
He needs to know what everybody's drinking. So go ahead and tell Junior what you're drinking.
I got a 20-ounce pour of our QBC Wheat. I just wanted something sessionable and fruity for the occasion. It's a passion fruit light wheat beer.
Did you say QVC? Is this like we're going to sell it on TV?
No, QBC,
Okay.
quarantine beer chugs. We made a beer for them,
Nice.
over the pandemic quarantine. So
Question for you before we jump into what you do and who you are. I've been to your brewery before, Halves. It's lovely. They've got some great barbecue there. What was the decision? Hey, we're going to do some big ass beers as well, because I was that gets me in trouble.
like what? What are you talking about?
I mean, how many ounces? That was a 22 ounce, right?
Oh, yeah, it's 20 ounces. Yeah, we wanted to offer two different size pours. So we have 14 ounce pours is like a regular pour, and then the 20 ounce. They're just a couple bucks more to get a lot more beer. So we figured it'd be a good value.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it. I was just shocked when I went in there. I was like, "Oh shit, I get a 20 ounce beer."
Not mad, just dangerous.
Exactly. So, like I said, it's Rodney Beagle from Halves Brewing. So we always start with this. How did you get into beer? How did that happen? You remember?
Oh man, absolutely, I remember. The mother of my children was a trainer at Yard House at the Legends when they first opened up. And other than Boulevard Wheat, I had never had craft beer. And I actually remember the very first beer that got me hooked on craft beer. And I had it at Yard House at the Legends when they had been open for a month. And it was Rogue's Juniper Pale Ale.
Oh, wow.
And I had absolutely no idea you could put crazy stuff into beer until I had that beer. And then from there, I think I drank about every tap at Yard House within the next few months. My palate just went crazy over it. So, yeah.
That's a good modification of our usual question of, what was the first
Right.
craft beer that you had. But I like that one of the first crazy one where you went, whoa, you can put that in beer? Do you remember that? Do you remember your first kind of crazy beer?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, one of my early favorites in craft beer was probably Young's Double Chocolate Stout. I'm like, you can put chocolate in beer? The hell, So, I mean, for me, what about you? I mean, let's quantify it here. He's a Servaes fanboy. He loves Courtney Servaes. So,
Who doesn't? I'm just going to counter with that. Who doesn't?
He's had his belly full of adjuncts from Servaes. So that's probably your first really.
Well, no, I think like you, I remember the first time I had the double chocolate stout.
Right.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah.
That was it. But I'm trying to, I bet the Abita's strawberry is probably the first they're they make fruity things too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember
O'Fallon Wheat was one of my first favorites too.
Oh yeah, the Wheat.
Just a classic. Yeah, peach wheat. Yeah.
So when that happened to you, and you're like, oh shit, all this shit is in beer. Were you a home brewer yet? Had you brewed? When did that happen?
So you asked me what got me into beer, and where my mind went was what got you interested just straight up in beer.
Right. Fair.
So that's where it all started. From then, I, worked at a brewery in the Power and Light, Gordon Biersch. I was a bartender there when they first opened up. And that is actually where I learned the process of beer making, and just got super interested in it. But I knew that I had a long way to go in my beer drinking career before I dabbled at all into brewing. But what got me into brewing was working at Big Rip Brewing in North Kansas City.
Right.
And I was a bartender there first, then assistant brewer. And then after I started being the assistant brewer there, I kind of caught the bug and found some old homebrew equipment laying on the shelf and asked to take it home and use it and see what I could come up with. And you're never going to guess what my first beer I brewed was at home.
What was it?
It was a Juniper Pale Ale.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, were you able to recreate it?
Funny ass story about that. I borrowed a keg from corny keg from Big Rip that housed homemade root beer in it before, and without knowing anything about brewing whatsoever, I involuntarily brewed a root beer Juniper Pale Ale. And oh my God, it was not good, but boy, did we drink the shit out of it. So,
it's knowing what I know about you and how you brew. That kind of makes sense.
But here's what I want to say is there was a part of me that was wondering, is this going to be a happy accident?
No way.
A little juniper, and I don't know. It might work.
No way. But boy, did me and my boys get drunk off of that keg, though. I promise you that. We still laugh about it to this day.
So after Big Rip, I forgot you were at Big Rip. Yeah. After that, what was that? What was that next step after that? Was that Colony?
So after Big Rip, Zach and Drew, the owners of Colony, would have the majority of their business meetings at Big Rip, because that's what breweries are awesome for and known for throughout history, is meeting of the minds over some beers. And so got to talking to those guys a lot in the few months that they were planning out Colony. And after, they offered me a bartending position there at Colony. And from there, since I did have a brewing background at that time and I was winning medals at competitions with my homebrew, everybody kept coming in and saying, "Hey, where's your beer? Where's your beer? Why isn't your beer on tap?"
Right.
So we made the decision, 6-8 months in to the business to try our hand at having a crowdfunding Kickstarter and seeing just what would happen with the interest level from the city about me brewing some beers for Colony. And that's when we, through Kickstarter, 30-day, our goal was $10,000. We reached that in 3.5 days, and we ended just shy of 20 grand on our Kickstarter. So it was kind of like, okay, so this thing is real. And that's where Colony Handcrafted Ales was born.
Boy, I tell you,
that's cool. You know what? This is 2 episodes in a row where we get cool birth stories.
No, I mean, we used to. It was, it's crazy because obviously we'll travel for beer. But when you started doing your Colony thing, we would all convoy up there and drink the beers. I'm kind of interested to, because you're a unique brewer. You do some crazy shit, and you really got to spread your wings at Colony. What spurred you to kind of be like, you're kind of, on some level, you're kind of like Mac from Diametric, where he wants to do shit that's just out of bounds, and let's see if it works. How did that come about? What part of you said, I want to do some crazy shit?
Because when I started drinking a lot of craft beer, I wanted to drink the stuff that was the wildest, with the weirdest flavor combination, stuff I had never tasted in my entire life. I needed that in my life, and I seeked it out at every turn. Rogue was going back to Rogue. They pushed the envelope from day one. We're talking early 2000s. They started doing some crazy stuff. and I could not get enough of that crazy stuff. And me having kind of the foodie background I have, and work in restaurants and in the industry my entire adult life, I always had access to special ingredients, and thought, man, that would be awesome in a beer. So you say I'm like Mac from Diametric, but I think that if I had the brewer that I have the most common with in the city is Courtney. We kind of started at the same time, and we kind of started homebrewing at the same time, and then breweries started opening, and we were out at all the beer fests together. You have no idea how many times we'd show up to a beer fest, and it'd be Courtney's beers, and she would show up with the exact same beer that I had brewed too. So, and we had never even talked. Like, that's when the Sherbert Sour series started and everything.
Right.
And it was just, it was a lot of fun. And we're very, very like-minded when it comes to that sort of thing.
Okay. So I don't know you. Nigel does. Talking about you like to kind of push. Do you describe yourself that way? Is that's what you want to do? Is you want to push the envelope? Do you kind of think of yourself as a little bit of a mad scientist maverick in the brew house?
Yeah. I mean, I've been called mad scientist from day one. That was kind of my nickname at Colony, was that mad scientist brewer. And yes, it is me. I like to push the envelope. I like to see when I was homebrewing and people would taste my weird creations, that look on their face when they're like, they take a drink and then they're like, whoa, what is that? Like, that look, I got addicted to people looking like that after they tried my beer for the first time. So I'm like, all right, how far can I actually take this? You know?
Do you feel like you can be just as kind of crazy now that it's a business, and now that it's your brewery? Do you feel like you still can do those things, or do you have to think a little bit more because it's money involved?
I am very fortunate to have partnered with John Kinnebeck here at Three Halves, and he is extremely accepting to my weird ideas. And as a matter of fact, the tanks you see behind me, this guy over here is double batch fermenter. This is a triple batch fermenter on my 3-barrel system that I have over here. He actually bought me, you can't see them, they're off screen, but 2 3-barrel fermenters. So they're single batch fermenters. And he bought these for me right after we opened, just so I could have them full of my creations at all times. And I've been doing that. I've been busting out 4 or 5 new beers per month, quietly kind of. But yeah, I'm pushing the envelope.
So backing up to the Colony days, you did some crazy shit. What stands out to you as to, because I have one that we can talk about, but what stands out to you as, man, this is nuts?
Well, the cereal beers, that was something that, I knew you were going to say that. The cereal beers, I did Fruity Pebbles, Lucky Charms, and Cinnamon Toast Crunch in 3 different styles of beer. Those were pretty crazy, but I mean, I got even crazier than that. For Elvis's birthday that year, I did a peanut butter banana sandwich ale.
I remember.
That sounds fantastic, by the way.
It was really, really good. Yeah, the peanut butter and the banana and some biscuit malt, man, it all just blended perfectly. And it's, still to this day, one of the highest rated beers that they did over there, that we did. Other than that, one year for my birthday, my birthday party, I threw myself a birthday party, and I did a 11.5% or 12.5%. Oh shit, what was it? Coconut cream pie ale, and just loads of lactose, super high alcohol. That was awesome too. I brewed 63 beers in 15 months at Colonies, 63 different beers.
Yeah, it was
and
nice.
The further I get away from that, and the further I get into my career here at Three Halves, I sometimes have all the artwork still from the beers, and sometimes I go through them and say, "Oh shit, I forgot all about this beer."
Right.
So I got crazy, man. I got really crazy, and that's one of the reasons that it was such a draw there.
Yeah,
For sure.
one of my favorite ones was the Get Lucky, the Lucky Charms beer.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
came out like on Snake Saturday. So it was. How would you describe that beer to? What
little
up?
podcast bomb.
What's up?
No. Like, no. you can't.
Special guest. It's fine.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's all good. And we had
What was it called? The Lucky Charms beer?
Yeah. Wasn't it ice?
It was a Irish mild ale. We did that one year for the Snake Saturday parade.
Right. Yeah.
So we did an Irish mild and then threw some Lucky Charms in it and had a little breakfast event there and went over really, really well.
That was delicious. We were up there. It was pretty damn awesome.
I would be horrible at that because I'm always been a fan of old man cereals. You know, I want my bran flakes, my Special K.
Yeah.
Can you do a cornflake beer for Nick, please?
You know, if I got crazy, it'd be like maybe some Cinnamon Life, some Honey Nut Cheerios.
Raisin Bran kind of sounds good.
Yeah, that could work.
That actually could work.
That could work. Hey, speaking of beer, so one of the things we do is, Nick is fairly new to beer, craft beer.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't my thing.
Yeah, he's more of a bourbon,
Rum. I drink. Still.
I have beers that I always bring that he can try out and see if he likes them, and that they come in this golf bag. So, which was stolen from a golf course.
I was gonna say that looks like it's on loan from a golf course
from 1992.
Yeah, that's shout out to Tony Medina. It's not on loan. It was procured. So and
by the way, there's only been one so far. And what are we at? 19 episodes?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Whatever. There's only been one that was bad.
We keep it classy in brown paper bags. Keep it classy. So your first beer is you get to
what do we got here?
Yeah.
A little Miami Vice kind of feel there with the colors.
Yeah. What's that? I don't even know what the hell that is.
New England IPA from Finkel Garf.
Where's that?
I don't know.
I got a
juicy tropical smooth 6.7.
Finkel Garf. They're in Denver. I think they're in Lodo.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know.
No, Rhino. I think they're in the Rhino district.
Boulder, Colorado.
Boulder.
Oh, right.
That's where I know. Boulder's my second home, dude. I go there 4 or 5 times a year.
Do you really?
I should have known that one. Yeah.
Love Boulder. All right, are you ready?
Yeah, crack it open. Well done. That's quality work right there.
You got to know how to use the microphone.
That's what you said. No, that's terrible.
You kind of forced that one.
Oh my goodness. Let's see how this is. Smells like beer.
Doesn't taste like beer.
That's a nice hazy IPA right there. That's pretty tasty.
I like that. That's refreshing.
It is refreshing.
That's a porch beer.
Porch beer.
Does it say what kind of hops are in it?
Come on, Nick.
You're gonna make me read for this show?
Yeah.
I'm just curious, man.
It does not.
We can always look it up.
Keeping their secrets close, I see.
Yeah.
Secrets don't make friends. So do you so what is now that you're where you're at? You after Colony, you've gone to 3 Halves. What are some things you've done that kind of measure up? You get if you set your standard, or if your standard was set maybe at Colony and you did some of those crazy things, you did the cereal beers, you did some of those others. What would you say kind of is in line with it, or where maybe you've pushed it a little bit farther now at 3 Halves?
We missed a big chunk of my brewing career in between Colony and 3 Halves. I was a gypsy brewing around Kansas City.
Yep.
Okay, so this is bad prep work by Nigel.
Well, no, you see what happens. He jumps on the question, and I was like, okay, let's back up because I know there's a whole because there's a process of how you ended up where you are. But you're right. There was after Colony, which much to a lot of people's chagrin, decided not to do beer because you were doing some good shit. But again, yeah, you talk about after Colony, you became the gypsy brewer. Tell us about that.
Well, to go back and answer Nick's question first.
That's right. First.
The weirdest beer I think that I've done to date here at 3 Halves has been a pineapple upside down cake milkshake IPA. All those words had people running to come try out what it was, but
exactly.
that was pretty crazy. But no, going back to
Is that still on tap?
No, that came and went really quick.
Dang it.
It was delicious though. Going back though, no, Gypsy Brewing. I brewed my recipes on 7 different breweries systems in Kansas City, and I got really crazy, especially at Crane. I did, I think, 7 beers for them on their pilot system, and we did everything from a lemon meringue pie sour to Kansas City's first morel mushroom beer.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I don't know if that sounds awesome or not, but I want to try it. Like, I can't tell you what I think about that idea, but I want to try it.
Yeah, it was a beer that wasn't too delectable by itself, but once you paired it with any type of food whatsoever, the beer completely transformed, and it was definitely like certain wines are like food pairing wines. This was a food pairing beer, and it got really good if you had a few bites of whatever in your mouth. But yeah, I did all sorts of crazy beers when I was Gypsy Brewing, including, the Bananarama collaboration that we did with Diametric.
Right.
They first brewed it on Colony System before they opened, and then they kept it going out there, and I went out there and helped them brew it on their system. That was the banana. It was like a banana bread milkshake IPA, which was really
it was delicious.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, been having a lot of fun.
Tell me a little bit about, because I am the more of the beer novice, right? So tell me about the Gypsy Brewing and how that happens. How do you get to be that guy? Because that sounds awesome and a blast to just kind of move around and.
Yeah, I always describe it as me cashing in my karma points. Throughout, ever since I started working at Big Rip, back in the day, I started making all sorts of friends in the brewing industry, because Big Rip was one of the very first craft breweries open in Kansas City, and they're still one of the very oldest. I think they've been around for 7 years now.
Yeah, I think them and Martin City are about the same age, I think.
Yeah, but anyway, I lost track. I'm drinking all this good beer. What were we talking about?
Well, I was just curious about Gypsy Brewing, how that works, how you get into it.
Yeah, cashing in my karma point. So treat everybody really well. They'll treat you well back. So after Colony shuttered its doors, pretty unexpectedly, they wanted to focus more on their music venue, which more power to them for doing that. I just started hitting up all my brewery owner friends, because all my home brewer friends, a lot of them had opened up breweries at this point.
Right.
So having relationships with home brewers around Kansas City, and with them opening brick and mortars, it all kind of just blended perfectly. And with my reputation of kind of being a crazy, like you said, mad scientist brewer, I was welcomed with open arms from a lot of my friends, and they trusted me with the reins to the brew system, and helped out, and we had a lot of fun. And so I would go in and do a big brew day. We'd post on social media, and then coming soon is this beer that's coming out, and then we throw a big release party for whatever concoction I came up with at that given week. So yeah,
one of the crazy ones was that he did the cotton candy beer at Fringe.
Oh, yeah. Right, yeah, and they brought that up for our Cancer Awareness Day.
Yeah,
here in town.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good beer.
I you know what, I when I went up to get it the first time, I wanted to say I was going to hate it, because I don't like cotton candy.
Oh,
but I liked the beer.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
So with me, I like to focus a lot on balance, so it's approachable beers that are crazy, that taste exactly what I say they're going to taste like, but my main thing is that it has to be balanced. So it's not offensive to the novice beer drinker at all. You know what I mean?
So along those lines, kind of what's your you come up with a recipe or whatever, and you think, I want to do this beer. What's your process like? Where does that come from? You said you worked in the food industry as well. Does
Yeah.
that play some role in how you are as a brewer?
For sure. I consider myself a beer chef. Not a head brewer, not a brew master, a beer chef. Because what I'm doing is creating flavor profiles in my mind and turning that into a reality. My food background helped out a lot with exotic ingredients and flavor combinations for sure. But yeah, my process is kind of, I've developed this ability to, when I'm writing a recipe on my brewing software, I can literally taste it in my mind. So the ability for me to be able to taste it in my mind before I even brew it, I think is something that kind of sets me apart when it comes to the weird flavor combinations and stuff like that. Yeah.
I keep wondering if this is like like the old improv comedy standby. Can we get like 3 people from the audience to throw out some flavors and then you just go make a beer?
Don't tempt me with a good time. I will do that.
That's kind of what Tony does every once in a while at Windshift. He'll put out some ingredients on Facebook and he'll go with it. And there've been interesting beers, to say the least, because people, everybody has their own weird taste. So, at this point, anything can be a beer. I suppose, right?
True. If you can think it, you can do it. At this point.
Are there flavors that are off limits?
Nobody's ever asked me that question before. That sounds like a challenge to me. Tell me something that would be off limits, and I will do my best to make it drinkable. That's for sure.
I saw somebody posted just recently, either today or yesterday, beets, and that sounds awesome to me. But again, I'm an old man at heart, so I like beets.
You've never had Crane's Beet Vice?
No.
Oh my God!
Oh no! Oh, you have. Nigel, you got that in that golf bag?
Man, I wish I did, bro.
I love beets.
You've never had that beer?
Dude, that beer is absolutely amazing.
If you like beets, man, it's like drinking dirt. I love it.
It's amazing.
We're going to have to make a trip over there.
There we go.
Because it's seasonal, so it just came out like last week.
It literally just came out. You need to go get some fresh. Yeah.
Some of the freshies.
See my brain, I'm on timing.
So Rodney, you had the whole Gypsy Brewer thing, and you landed this gig. How did that come about?
I was recruited to interview. John, the owner here, he really did his due diligence. At the time of him looking for a head brewer, there were, over 10 different brewers. Some had just lost their jobs. Some of their breweries had closed. And I think I had 4 total interviews here with him before I got the call. So, it was a very, very humbling experience and something that I'm extremely proud of. And, the recruitment process paid off for me in the end.
So how long has it been since you've been there?
So we turned a year old last month, but I had about 4 months before that. So about a year and a half now. Yeah.
Nice. So have you been able to, obviously, you're running your own show basically.
It's just me. This is my playground. Right?
Yeah. It's probably different from what you're doing at Colony because that was a smaller system, wasn't it?
It was 1/3 of the size of what I'm brewing on now.
Yeah.
But the equipment there was novice at best. I have moved on to some superior, super professional equipment here that has been able to allow my beers to kind of take the next step, go to the next level.
So I guess that's my question. You're in there with the big boy system. Have you learned some things? How's the process been over the last 15 months? In this whole new project.
Yeah, is there a learning curve from, like you said, from system to system?
Well, this is going back to me cashing in my karma points of being a gypsy brewer. I didn't know it at the time, but brewing on all those different systems gave me more knowledge about brewing equipment than you could get in probably school. You know what I mean?
Right.
Every single system is completely different. And just being able to know the ins and outs of different systems around town made it, when I came here to Three Halves, like, oh, I got this, no problem. Like, let's go, let's start brewing beer.
That's awesome.
What was the first beer you brewed there?
We did just a kind of it was a civic duty, actually. I had to think about that for a second. It was just meant to be a test beer that simple ingredients, very cheap to brew, cost-wise. And we did that as our very first pilot batch. Just we were literally going to dump it out just to kind of get the process down and everything.
Mm.
And now it is one of our year-round beers, and it's in the can over here, and the recipe hasn't changed a lick since the first time we brewed it. So we kind of found lightning in a bottle with that one. Yeah.
Now you guys are North Kansas City. Now Liberty, way north of Kansas City, for those who don't know.
Don't say way north. It's only about 15 minutes north.
Well, I've been up there. It ain't that far, but you know, it's a different part of town. What's it been like? How's Liberty embraced, Three Halves Brewing?
Well, that's something I definitely wanted to talk about. When we first opened, it was like one of our mottos was that we were going to brew beer for the people of Liberty and what they wanted to drink, right? So we started off we did a lot of market research here in Liberty. We went to all the bars several times, talked to a lot of people, talked to the bartenders. Definitely went out and had a good time several days in a row and kind of judged what everybody was drinking. And that gave birth to the very first two light beers that I've ever brewed in my life. So Liberty is more blue collar of a city than North Kansas City is, or downtown or around the downtown area, or what I'm used to. So we definitely had to gauge the community and what they wanted first, because as we all know, you do your business as a brewery within about 3 miles of the brewery. Everybody there, that's your neighborhood. That's who you have to cater to. So yeah, it was kind of a shock to the system having to brew some regular beers and not be all crazy with every single thing that I did. But then again, that was just another stepping stone for my brewing career, and it ultimately made me level up as a brewer. So,
yeah.
Do you think those beers are stepping stones for your customers too? That they like your light beers, and you can get them into some of the.
Absolutely, yes. You don't know how many times a week my bartender's here. I'll take a Busch Light, or I'll have a Budweiser. And the best thing in the world to me is when somebody comes up, some old farmer in overalls, a Bass Pro Shop hat, comes up and said Budweiser. I'll take a Budweiser. And oh wait, hold on, let me give you this Civic Duty. It's our light beer. See if you like it. And then they're like, no, I'm not gonna like that. But then they taste it and their face lights up. And going back to that as a home brewer, when you see somebody's face light up, it's so rewarding. And that part's rewarding, but the most rewarding part of that whole process is when they come up and they order a second one after.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, you got to be versatile, especially when relocating to a more rural community. But yeah, it's been a challenge, and it's been ridiculously fun.
And Nick's out of beer, so mystery beer number 2.
Yeah, all right.
Going in.
What is just technically speaking, as a brewer? Now that you've been around at different breweries, you've done the gypsy thing, you're at Three Halves now. Technically, what's the hardest type style for you to nail? What do you think takes the most skill?
I think I'm about to find that out tomorrow. Because tomorrow I embark on a journey that I have never embarked on before, and that is brewing lager. So
right.
we're brewing lager tomorrow for the very first time, and by we I mean I.
So you've never done one?
I've never brewed a lager in my life. No, I know the ins and outs. I've done years worth of research on it. I know exactly how to do it. I have just always been an ale type brewer,
Right.
and going back to what we're brewing, and we're brewing for the community here. They want a lager, so we're going to see how plain and awesome and crisp American lager can be from Three Halves. And then once I nail that first recipe down, then we're going to get into the Rodney specials on the lagers.
Then you're going to see how you can screw it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. What do we got here?
What we got there?
Restless Soul, French Toast from Servaes.
From Servaes. I know you like French toast, so.
Fanboy.
Awesome.
That's for you.
I'm jealous I'm not there with you guys, man.
Normally that would be the case, but thanks to fucking COVID, it's like,
We're gonna get out though. As soon as they let us, we're hitting all the tap rooms.
we're gonna come and do live at tap rooms, so that's our goal.
You guys are welcome here whenever you want to be here, man.
Absolutely. Hey, do your kids think it's cool that you're a brewer?
They do. And, they help me weigh stuff out. They help me spray the hose on stuff. They enjoy being around it. And one thing I wanted to touch on, since you brought that up, Nigel, is that it's also teaching them a very responsible ethic towards alcohol.
Yes.
Like they see the scene here at the brewery when they're here. Nobody's drunk. There's no woo girls in here. Like everybody's having nice conversations over awesome beers.
Right.
And it really, I think that sentiment is definitely going to echo in their minds as they grow older, to where, you don't have to have 15 natty lights in a night to have a good time. You can have a few craft beers, when they get older. So yeah, I hope that they are brewers themselves when they get older, either on a homebrew scale or otherwise. And I would absolutely love to help them in that journey too.
That'd be
awesome.
fun.
Nick,
What do we got here?
What is it?
French toast.
It smells like French toast, actually.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's like I just had breakfast.
Yeah.
I just had the best breakfast I've had in months.
That's actually really good.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, that's really good.
What's the ADD on that bad boy?
It's probably
8%.
Yeah, 8%.
Very nice.
Yep.
Perfect little sip.
Now the graphic design nerd in me, I don't like that you can't really read the text there on that.
Well, there's that. So, Rodney, you've been in the Kansas City brew scene for a while.
I think I'm going on 8 years now. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've pretty much been part of the growth of it. I mean, you've probably been to other cities. We talk about this on all our episodes. What's your view of what Kansas City has become beer wise in the last few years?
Relevant. As to where we weren't. We weren't very relevant until about 5 years ago, really.
Yeah.
We're what a lot of people don't understand is we are in our infancy stage of brewery here in Kansas City still. Literally. I mean, I personally know 2 or 3 breweries that have plans on opening, and there's probably more than that soon. But with the COVID stuff, it really knocked everybody's plans, and I hope it doesn't deter them from opening in the future. But yeah, we are in our infancy stages here, and just to be able to witness the growth is nothing short of incredible. I saw a town, North Kansas City, go from absolutely nothing, and then you plant a brewery there, and then here comes another one, and then there's a third one, and then you saw the city grow around these breweries.
Right.
And I still think that North Kansas City's growth is largely in part to the breweries that are planted there. Absolutely.
If you go 10, 12, 15 years ago around there in North Kansas City, nothing. Nothing, right? I mean, you had Smoking Guns, right?
even if that, and you had a few dive bars there, and that was it. I remember going to a bar called Chip Shot there back in the day. And they had $5 bottomless cup nights. It was like a kegger party that they were throwing there, But the city's come a long way, man, and I'm largely in part to breweries, I think.
Well, I'll ask you this question. I know you probably don't get out that much because you're a brewer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But before, when you were when you could actually get around, you don't have to give me a favorite. Who were you digging around Kansas City?
Well, like now or
whenever. I mean, just in general, and right now, that's fine. I haven't seen you in public in God knows how long, so there's that.
I know it's been a hot minute, but some of my favorites in the city, it's largely due to atmosphere, beer quality, and not saying that I don't absolutely love everybody, but Casual Animal is one of my favorites because it's downtown around a whole bunch of things. Kyle and them over there are awesome people.
Yeah.
Diametric, man, they feel like family to me every time I go up there. So they're pushing the envelope. They're pushing the envelope on a lot of their stuff. So close contact with those guys. I absolutely love going to the Boulevard Beer Hall, taking out of towners there.
Yeah.
It's such an impressive ordeal there, and they are just crushing it. One-off beers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on and on. I don't want to leave anybody out, but that's normally when I get out of Liberty, I head straight towards the downtown Crossroads area. So that's where I spend most of my time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like, if you're opening, I'm going to come see you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, and that's the thing about Kansas City beer, if you start, and we talk about this. The thing I hate is when people judge a brewery immediately when they first open. I'm like,
oh yeah, that's played out. I think that's played out, man.
Yeah, so the people that do that, I give them the side eye, but I want all the boats to rise. You know what I'm saying? So I think everybody
that's kind of what. But that also goes back to one of my personal mottos. I have a few personal mottos, but one of them is, if you brew it, they will come. If you brew it well, they will come back.
Oh, shit, so, yeah. We need to put it on a T-shirt.
That's got to be a shirt. By the way, we're just going to throw that out now. Beers with Nigel merch coming soon.
Yeah, we'll give you full credit for that, bro.
Awesome. I'll take royalties too. If that's cool.
That'll be on that shirt, and we'll put your signature on the bottom of it.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Rodrigo Beagle. Right
Hey, where do you like to go? Outside of Kansas City, if you're traveling, you said you like to go to the Boulder area, out in Colorado fairly regularly. What are you liking to hit beer wise outside?
Well, I think that I have a lot in common with a lot of other head brewers, and bless our families for understanding this and going along with it. But our vacations usually are centered around our brewery hits. Which ones are we going to, and what can we fit in between the brewery stops? So I love going to St. Louis. They have a great brew scene, and it's close, and it's cheap to get there and back. I just got back from Chicago. I go to Colorado 4 or 5 times a year. And that's just an unlimited supply of breweries out there.
Right.
But I also last year went to Memphis and New Orleans and Arkansas and Omaha, and it's awesome to get outside of the city and really see what everybody else is doing. Because every once in a while you'll find something and you'll stumble on an idea or a premise or even a decoration in a beer hall or tap room that you're like, damn, that's awesome. We should bring that back to Kansas City. So my ears and eyes are always open wherever I go, and everywhere I go, I usually stop at a brewery or two. So.
What do you think Kansas City has to do? Because you said Colorado, that's unlimited supply, right? But that's been a hub of craft beer for a long, long time. What does a place like Kansas City have to do to kind of get to that point?
I personally would never want it to get to that point here. We have not for like monetary purposes or anything like that, but we have this kind of a heartland feel, kind of a true Midwest feel here, to where yes, we could use 20, 40, 60 more breweries here, but there's definitely pockets of the city that need them, that they would thrive in. And like Belton's getting a brewery, and you know, so many of these little surrounding areas, cities, Odessa, Hutchinson, you know, the Sandhills out there. That's where they started. Like I love seeing these breweries pop up in little cities, because normally and frequently you will see a growth in that entire city just from a presence of a brewery. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of my things. When you go to some of these weird towns, you're like, "Oh, there's a brewery here. What the hell?" I got to ask you, since you've had some travels, and New Orleans is my favorite city ever. What did you go in? Any place you went to sit out in New Orleans?
New Orleans was the one place I did not go to a brewery, but I went to a couple of different craft beer bars and got to try a lot of the local fare that way. Yeah.
Did you go to the Avenue? Did you go to Avenue Pub?
I did. Yes.
Yes. Bro, that's my favorite tap room ever, bro. 24 hours. They don't close.
I thought that was all of New Orleans.
I mean, not all the places in New Orleans, but that was the one beer place that had good beer that didn't close. I was like, this is the thing. When I lived there, I was like, oh my God.
New Orleans. If I'm being honest with you, New Orleans was kind of a blur. Well, I was there for like two days, or a little bit less than 2 days.
Yeah, that wasn't long enough.
No, stayed at the casino right off.
Oh yeah, you did it all wrong, bro.
I have had trips to New Orleans that are blur. There's a few I remember pretty well, but yeah. New Orleans can be dangerous.
Well, up until this year, I'd been to the last 12 out of 13 Mardi Gras. So, you know.
Well, you don't count as missing this year because it didn't happen.
Well, no, it happened this year. It was like a COVID outbreak, but you know. Anyway, we digress. So you have, you know, you brew a lot of styles. Is there something that you gravitate towards to like drink? What do you like?
Yes, I mean, the more and more weird beers I drink, the more and more simple beers I like to consume on a regular basis.
Isn't that crazy?
That's I mean, it's my job. It's my job to analyze beers all day long, and when I go home at night, or when I go over to the corner bar next door, which is a little dive bar, been around for 60 years. I'm gonna really freak you guys out right here. The beer that's always in my fridge is Natty Light. It's literally just a beer that I don't have to think about, and I can have, you know, 5 or 8 of them and not be hammered drunk.
Right.
It's just a nice wind down beer, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, mine would be Miller High Life. If I actually kept beer at my house.
Well, you do now.
Well, I've got a few, but I don't need to keep beer. I live next to a brewery. You know that, Rodney. I live next door to Grains and Taps. You know what I'm saying?
Do you drink it out of a champagne flute is the question.
You know
actually, he has a Miller's High Life fountain. Like a chocolate fountain, but it's beer.
Pipes right in.
He's classy. It's like a wedding reception all night long at Nigel's house.
It's a terrible wedding reception because yeah, I don't think yeah. You know, I tell you what, it might have been like Betsy and Taylor's wedding reception, which was pretty epic when they got married a few weeks ago. I need to finish their video. I shot their wedding and I haven't edited the video yet. So sorry.
I was there. I had a blast, man. That was awesome.
That's what I'm saying. It was fucking epic. It's a great spot too, and there was lots of. We snuck in beers to the reception. That was pretty awesome.
That does not seem like one that would be lacking in the booze department.
But you have to understand where it was. Was it what country club was it?
Riviera Lake.
Yeah. So it was fancy. It was fancy AF.
pants.
Fancy AF.
Was your pinky up the entire night?
The whole night. So I was that guy. I hadn't worn, pants. I was like, well, I'm shooting a wedding. I should go put on pants. And then people showed up in shorts. I was like, fuck.
Wait, didn't I see you change out of your pants into shorts?
Bro, as soon as the ceremony was over, I went to my car and changed back into shorts. Yes, sir.
That is
awesome.
I guess I have seen you in recently. I forgot about that.
That was the last time, yeah.
Yeah, because I had to babysit Alex. Shout out to Alex Workman. Hey, so one of the things we always talk about on this podcast is like diversity in beer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tap rooms, your staff, whatever. What would be your take on? Because you see the beer scene here is mostly white and mostly male.
Yep.
What do you think we need to do as people who love the craft beer scene, and we want to make it more diverse? Does that ever, come across your mind as, we should probably make this a little more diverse generally in all around Kansas City? What you think about that much?
Yeah, especially with this year and everything that's happening with everything going on. Absolutely. I personally think it starts with education and accessibility. The more, the merrier. The more breweries in the more cities, the better as far as that stuff goes. Our staff is half male, half female. But other than that, trying to, I don't know. It doesn't cross my mind that much because of how much fun we're having doing this and everything like that. But it's starting to happen, and you can see it across social media platforms. And there's different organizations that are trying to drive that happening. There's the homebrewing community is also very involved in that sort of upbringing of more inclusion and everything. And I just, I'm the type of guy that doesn't see color of skin whatsoever. So it doesn't really cross my mind that often.
Right.
To tell you the truth. Yeah.
You talked about accessibility, though. That was one of the words that you put out there. Do you think we should kind of make ourselves think about it more? And by ourselves, I'm saying, you and I that look like we do. Should we think about it more? About, hey, when we go hire, let's think about that. When we add staff, when it's time for you to get an assistant brewer, should you think about that? Even recruiting. And I know, like, you're in the Liberty area, which is what 80-90% white people, right?
Yeah.
So, is that things that we should think about more?
Yeah. I guess so. To me, like I said, it's more of just who wants it more. I don't see color of skin when I go to do my hiring and all that stuff. And it just, fact of the matter is that we don't get a lot of applicants, people of color or anything like that. And but if we did, it's nothing to us. It's not a big deal as long as they want to do it. They're hungry for it. And yeah, I don't know.
Do you think, because I've been hearing this on other podcasts that, like you said, you don't get a lot of candidates. How about experience-wise? How important is that? Let's say you wanted to hire somebody that is going to serve or, help you mill grain or whatever. Are you on this? It's a curious conversation with myself. It's nice to have somebody with experience, but it's also nice to take somebody and mold them into something. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Experience doesn't really matter to us here. And like I was just saying, it's just about the love for the craft. I would much rather have somebody that's brand new to it. Yeah. So like you say, you can teach them your ways and they're not stuck in a different way,
right?
Or they don't have habits that bad habits that need to be broken or anything like that. No, I am fully willing and actually prefer to teach people from the ground up with my knowledge and how I do things if they're going to work here at our brewery here. So,
Nigel, you've talked about there are a lot of people of color who just aren't in the scene, right? They just haven't been
because they don't know.
They don't know. They haven't been invited.
Right.
They haven't do it. So I'm going to go back to the two words, access and education. What can we do? And Rodney and Nigel, both of you answer this one. What can we do though to invite more, to make more people aware that there are opportunities, that you can learn this new thing from the ground up. You can get into this industry. There are accessible opportunities.
I don't know about you, Rodney, but you think about, I've been a beer drinker for years, right? Mm-hmm. I've never really thought about, well, how's it made and who's back there making it? It's not one of those things you even consider.
But I think that's what's different about the craft beer world, right? Is like you become friends with the brewers, you become friends with the people that run that tap room.
True, but I think on the craft beer level, I still think we talk about this. It's still a niche. Most people are still drinking Natty Light. you know what I'm saying?
Hey, don't knock it.
I'm not knocking it, but my point is, like I said, when I was in England 2 years ago, craft beer scene there is amazing, huge. Mm-hmm. But how huge is it when I see a guy walking down the street with a suitcase of Budweiser? It maybe it's huge to me because I'm seeking it out. But if you don't know, you don't notice. You don't notice it. You know what I'm saying? If you've never seen a Ferrari, it drives by. It's not going to turn your head. Oh, it's a great car. So I think
it's still going to turn your head.
You think so? Some people know. It was
honestly, I think that it might kind of start off with like homebrew clubs. It's kind of the first thing that came to my mind. Having friends invite friends to homebrew clubs and get their hands dirty a little bit and see if they like the process of making the product too. That, and then also social media is huge. Social media doesn't. I mean, when you pinpoint demographics on Facebook per se, it doesn't. You don't pick a color. I mean, it's just a radius around your brewery and an age demographic. It doesn't. You don't pick a color of skin.
Right.
So maybe one thing that breweries can do be a little better about is their social media outreach in the surrounding areas, just to let people know that, hey, we're here.
Yeah, I mean, again, if I don't know you're there unless I'm told or you tell me or I see it someplace. So I mean, that's fair.
And I think what it comes down to really is at this point, any and all efforts are efforts. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. They're
all new efforts. Let's do more.
I've got an effort for you.
You got one more?
The third mystery.
Hey, I'm gonna go grab myself a beer. Hold on.
You can. We'll allow it.
Servaes says?
I need to get me a 3-half shirt. Those are badass.
That's pretty cool.
That one, that's a special bag. Look, that even has a handle on it.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for a reveal.
Well, I'll drink my Jam Band. Junior, we're drinking Jam Band.
Junior!
Did you get the same beer? What'd you get?
Beauty of canning your own beer at the brewery, which we just started to do a few months back, is that every canning run you'll have a few what we call low fills.
Low fills, oh yeah.
And these are just beers that come off the line that are just a few grams short of what they need to be completely full while we're getting the canning line tuned in. And they're beautiful beers.
Dare
I say beers with Beagle.
Beers with Beagle. There we go. Hey, let's not invite competition. All right, I'm gonna open this one up. What do we got in here?
So this one's in a special brown paper bag because it has handles.
I mean, this is classic.
Yeah, it's classy.
That's fancy.
What we got there?
Peanut butter chocolate. There we go. Did we save a little Jam Band?
I mean, we can. You've never had that.
I haven't had this one. No.
So that was a gift from
Four Hands.
Yeah. The absence of light.
No, this is the peanut butter chocolate milk stout from Four Hands.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, okay.
No, it is absence of light.
Oh, it is.
Right.
I thought I recognized
By the way,
it.
that's the smaller portion of their typography is the name of the
Right,
beer.
right. They got to get those buzzwords out there, you know.
So that one was.
Is this Lenny Blue?
Yeah, Lenny told me to bring that to you. So I had a little. We have some friends of ours that are living their best lives. They're in one of those. What's that?
They bought an Airstream 3 years ago.
An Airstream camper,
and they are traveling the country.
And they travel the country, and they happened to be in St. Louis, and we had Danner on the show last time. We were talking about street soda. We couldn't get it.
He brought you some.
He brought me 2 crowlers of that shit. I was like, yeah, man.
Is it gone?
We drank 1 crowler at the brewery. I shared it at the brewery, of course. Actually, I shared both of them. I like to share beer. So Rodney, what's the plan? You guys are canning. Are you guys going to distribute? What's the story?
Right now, all of our can beer is available here at the tap room. We got a big 3-door reach-in cooler that's jam-packed full of 100 cases of beer. We're offering 4 different beers right now, which are kind of like our 4-year rounders. And then we also have a mixed 6-pack. Where am I at? Right here. I got them up on that keg over there. So the 4-pack's on top. It's 1 of each beer. And then we're also offering 6-packs of 12-ounce cans of the 4-year round beers. So it's a jumping off point. System size right now it's not capable of producing, the amount needed to service an area. So we are in plans, and we have been in plans, and we're might be nearing some finality of maybe some super exciting stuff coming up.
Nice.
Awesome. That's cool.
So for those who have never been to Liberty, downtown Liberty is fucking awesome. I think it's great. If you were going to describe Three Halves Brewing and what somebody could expect when they come to your brewery, vibe, space, beer, what would you? If I said, "Hey, Rodney, I've never been there. Why should I come to Three Halves?"
First and foremost, the family atmosphere that we provide. We are tremendously lucky to be 2 businesses under one roof here in downtown Liberty. We share a space with what just got named the champion of the barbecue and I believe it was Flatland.
Because they beat LC's, didn't they?
They beat Q39 and LC's and Jack Stack and everybody in this public voting thing. So Jousting Pig Barbecue is a craft barbecue restaurant that is right here underneath our roof. They have, and might get killed for this, but literally top 3 barbecue in all of Kansas City.
I'd agree.
It's absolutely unreal how good their food is. And they're starting to get some accolades, starting to win some rewards. And what better than craft barbecue and craft beer under one spot? Yeah. So you get the best of both worlds when you walk in here. We have giant 20-foot ceilings, exposed brick, wraparound bar. We have a giant patio out back that's right next to the smoker and the smokehouse. So it's like a little slice of heaven coming up here to downtown Liberty.
What's it been like for you? I mean, you've been there a while. I mean, you got to be pretty proud. You said you kind of feel like you're blessed and lucky, and
absolutely, yeah.
So it's been
it's been a whirlwind. Nose to the grindstone. I really wish that this year wouldn't have transpired the way it has,
right?
Because I would really like to get out and get to some beer fests and spread our name a little bit more. But our media team has been doing such a good job with all of our video production and posting and really drawing a crowd. I mean, even through the quarantine, we were doing to-go only curbside stuff, and we were keeping up, man. I mean, we haven't really faltered that much despite the consequences. Yeah. I mean, despite the pandemic and everything, we're cruising right along.
You know, my buddy Kenny was in town mid-COVID, right around when Blarney was supposed to happen. He was coming anyway, so he came up. I said, "We're gonna go to Three Halves." So we were hoping the patio was open, so we got to go beers and barbecue, and sat in my car and ate it. And Rodney came out and hollered at us. It was,
Yeah, that was awesome.
I feel like people have been really, really awesome about supporting the breweries and the local restaurants, and I mean, look, I'm not gonna say it's the same year to year comparison, but I think it's really helped a lot of restaurants and breweries that might not have made it through.
I think Rodney will agree. I mean, the Kansas City beer community is fucking amazing. I mean,
if you just look at the Together We Can events,
that's what I was going next.
Dude,
just if you look at
where
that,
I was going. Yeah. No, correct me if I'm wrong, Nigel. Kansas City hasn't lost one brewery through this, have they?
No, not at all. I mean, we've gained.
And that is extremely impressive.
We've
got
some.
2 or 3 right that have opened.
Right, that's mind blowing. Like Nimble down in the Crossroads, and Pathlight opened up, and Transparent.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's mind blowing, But one thing people need during a pandemic and during a rough time in their life is beer. So, we chose the right profession. That's for sure.
I mean, I'm not going to say anything out loud, but my consumption of beverages may have increased greatly during COVID.
I think you just said that out loud.
Yeah.
Was that out loud?
No, it was out loud.
Huh. I didn't mean to do that.
And that's fair because, for me, I just wanted to support the local. I had more beer. I had more beer in my refrigerator. And I never had beer, Rodney, ever. Because people come to my house and they're pissed off. You don't have any beer. I'm like, let's go next door. Or bring your own. How about that?
I made it a personal thing of mine, and I encourage everybody that I'm around at all times to do the same thing, especially during these times. And since the quarantine started and everything, do not eat anywhere that's not a local place. Do not drink anywhere that's not a local place. Support what you love and keep them around.
Absolutely.
What are you cuvee there?
That's Jam Band and
Absence of Light.
And Absence of Light.
A little peanut butter jelly action.
Peanut butter jelly time.
Love it.
I was just pausing. I was going to see if you could do the whole thing.
Peanut butter jelly. And they fall back.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at?
See, I knew that was coming.
There you go. There you go. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat.
Perfection.
So the unidentified can there, what was that for Junior's benefit?
I'm drinking Desert Gold. It's our light wheat.
Junior, Desert Gold.
Junior, that was for you.
We're gonna send him up there to you.
Desert Gold was named after a silo explosion.
Oh, is that right?
That happened. Yeah, a grain silo blew up in 1978 here in Liberty, actually injuring a few people and killing a few people.
Man.
And we decided to name a beer after it because it's part of Liberty's history. So Desert Gold, this is Desert Gold Feed Company is the name of the company.
So your beer names, I know you guys are really into the Liberty community and, trying to do a lot of things that might be relatable to them. Is that the deal with the naming, or where are you coming up with the names?
So definitely when it came to our year-round beers that we're going to have on tap at all time, we wanted to tap into the local history. We have our Stick 'em Up Stout, which is named after the bank that is catty corner to us, which was Jesse James's first bank robbery. At this bank that's just right here. So it's the Stick 'em Up Stout. We got the Desert Gold about the silo explosion. The Civic Duty is because we're right across the street from City Hall. So we kind of paid homage to that way.
Right.
And the Cannonball Pale Ale is another one. We're at the Liberty bend of the river. Right. And when the old time ships were a mile up the river, they would fire a cannonball off to let the dock workers know that they were coming. Those are our 4 year-rounders that we named after Liberty. But that being said, with our one-off beers and the fun stuff that we do, we get pretty crazy with our names. We have a double dry hop, double hazy pale ale on tap right now. That's called Unicornosaurus Rex.
That's awesome.
I did a little drawing for it and everything. We have a lot of fun. We've named beers after Monty Python, after the show Letterkenny, after South Park, just all sorts of crazy stuff.
I do have a.
Awesome.
I do have
I'm
a.
gonna hit pause.
Okay.
I actually have to go outside.
What
I'm
is
gonna let
going-
you bring it home. Apparently, somebody just hit my car in the parking lot.
Oh well, go for it.
So I'm gonna step out. I'm gonna let Nigel bring this home.
We just had some drama on the podcast.
That's first.
That's what happens when you get a window at the studio. Somebody hits you. Well, that was nice of them to come and tell you.
Yeah, no, that was.
Oh, hold on. Well, Rodney, we're going out.
And then there were two.
Right. We're going out with a car accident. I mean, that was nice of them. It was pretty weird because I kept looking over there because we've got a big window. You can kind of see it. And she had a Post-it note and was putting it in the window. I'm like, does she need beer? I was like, does she want to come? Does she want to, be a guest star? I don't know. It was weird, but apparently that's a first. Actually, we did one of these outside in a buddy of ours' driveway in front of a bonfire on a main street in downtown Lee Summit. And one of our buddies just pulled up in his truck into the driveway and was kind of on the show. So this is nothing unusual. So
I bought a used car like 5-6 days ago, and the night I got it, I parked it outside of my house here in Liberty, and I came out in the morning and the bumper was hanging off of it. Somebody had hit my car the day after I bought it.
Damn.
It was horrible. So I feel Nick's pain right now.
They didn't leave a note apparently, huh?
Nothing. No.
Some bitches.
Yeah, no. Whatever. What can you
bro,
do?
I appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
I've been a fan of yours from day one. You've always been an awesome dude, awesome ambassador to Kansas City beer. You make killer beers. I'm super happy that you got that gig and it's fucking going awesome. I wish you the best of luck. Tell people where they can find you and like Three Halves on the social medias.
Yeah, we're just at threehalvesbrewingco.com. Same thing across all platforms. We have a terrific media team that's working on our Facebook analytics and our video recording, and we're doing some super fun videos. Go on our page, click on the video or the photo section. You won't be disappointed. As a matter of fact, there was a nationwide seminar that was on today in the craft brewing industry, and our media team was selected out of every brewery in the United States to be on display and as an example of why you need, video production in your social media campaigns and how relevant that is. And they backed it up with so many stats and everything. It was awesome. Right. So check out our Facebook page. You won't be disappointed. There's a lot of cool content on there.
I mean, full disclosure, as a video production guy, what you guys are doing, I'm a bit jealous. Because you're right. Every brewery needs that sort of slick production, and you guys are the only ones that do it.
They're calling us. They can't. So it was a seminar out of Denver, and today they were calling us. This little 2-man brewery in rural Missouri. But their video production makes it look like they're on Food Network. You know what I mean? So the relevance is definitely there. 2020 is definitely the jumping off point, and even COVID itself has sprung a new generation of video production where it doesn't. Go ahead.
No, say who's doing your video production?
Stamina Studios. They're out of the Crossroads. They're on Southwest Boulevard. If you're familiar with the local clothing company Made Mob,
right?
They're kind of partners with them. Run out of the same building. Phenomenal guys. Our videographer, he used to shoot music videos for Strange Music, Tech Nine, and all them.
Oh, nice.
So the guy, he's got a drone. He's got thousands of dollars worth of equipment.
Yeah.
And man, they're worth it.
Yeah. Shout out to them because they're killing it. So for those who watch this and hear this, if you want some dope ass videos, I'm telling you, go check out the Three Halves page, because I'm telling you, every time I see one, you kind of were kind of a little bit of a fledgling video. You used to do when you were at Colony, you used to do the YouTube shits that I always thought were dope. just did this beer, blah blah blah. I mean, you're kind of a natural, bro.
Well, no, that was my practice for this because, like, we had an intern, a college intern that had a camera and knew some video editing skills, and she came and interned for us as our media. Sorry, it was a low one.
That was kind of weird.
But anyway, yeah, I took that same format from back then and kind of applied it with our new team, and they added some crazy graphics to it and like cutouts and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Colony was practice for him.
No, it was fucking dope. Every once in a while, because I think at one point I'd subscribe to them, so they'll pop up. I'm like, oh, this is Rodney back in the day.
I go back and watch them sometimes too, just to see how cringy it was, and how much better that our media team's doing.
So we're gonna get closure to the car accident because Nick's coming back in.
Okay. So I'm curious to know.
Yeah, everybody's curious to know.
You all curious?
Yeah. All right. I mean, you went out there. You've missed a whole good part of this podcast. The best part, you missed it.
Don't tell him what we were talking about.
I'm not. He'll have to watch.
All right.
Well, we don't edit.
That we don't edit. So
that's one of the things of this show is we don't edit.
I've edited one time. Shout out to Des Jones. She knows why.
We love you, Des.
And shout out to Des Jones being the first Black female assistant brewer in Kansas City history. She's at Torn Label. You know Des?
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, bro. For the last couple of months, she's assistant brewer over there.
Just got.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
No.
You should probably go back and watch that podcast.
By the way, some of my favorite artwork on labels is from Torn Label.
Torn Label. Yeah.
Love that stuff that they do.
So what's the story
the car's
with the
fine.
car?
Car's fine. A Jeep Cherokee backed into it a little bit. Little scratch on the bumper, but I'm not worried.
Did they give you like $50 or what they do?
Well, I'm not going to tell you how much I scammed out of them.
You're going to buy my beer for the next month, motherfuckers.
I'm either going to need cash or a lot of gift cards from the brewery down the street.
Right. Hey, Rodney, again, bro. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm going to drag him up there sometime because he doesn't get out that much.
Please do. First round's on me.
Ruins everything.
No. We can go up there and have like you can get a 2-hour window. We'll go up there, get some barbecue, have some beers.
By the way,
we're definitely practicing extreme, distancing and masks all the time here. We're allowed to operate at 50% capacity, and we're doing so very wisely. We haven't had one complaint to the health department or anything since this all started. We're taking it very seriously here.
No doubt.
That's awesome. Well, and look, both the brewery and the barbecue have been on my list for a little while now.
Yeah, we need to get him out.
So I need to get up there.
Yeah, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't come try some of Jeff's.
I have a little bit of trouble sometimes driving all the way to Canada, but I'll get there.
I'll drive, motherfucker. Really? Wow. Now he has no excuse. I said I'd drive.
Anyway, Canada. No. We're not that far away.
Yeah.
I tease.
So for those who are uninitiated, this is Beers with Nigel, a podcast about beers and other stuff, presented by Dyer Oil Graphics, downtown Lee Summit, for your graphics needs, T-shirts, stickers. What else do they do?
Anything you want.
Promotional items.
Any promotional material. You want some swag for your business, for your brewery.
If you see the Beers with Nigel sticker.
Oil Graphics.
You got a place we can put the sticker? I got a Beers with Nigel sticker I need to bring up there.
Don't they sponsor the Blarney Brew Off too?
They are sponsors of the Blarney.
See, look at that.
Yeah.
See, he knows that.
Yeah.
They're famous already.
Absolutely. I recognize the name.
So I'm going to bring you some stickers. We're going to stick them on your cooler or wherever you put your stickers. So anyway.
There's stickers everywhere in here, man.
Is there?
Yeah.
And the Beers with Nigel podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and most any of your favorite podcast apps. You can even do this one. Alexa, play the Beers with Nigel podcast.
And don't forget on Facebook, the video version, which is always the best version.
Well, I don't know about the best.
I mean, if you want to see Rodney's lovely face, you should probably watch the video version.
Watch it for Rodney. Don't watch it for me.
I mean, that's why the camera's all the way back here.
Like we keep the camera at a distance for a big reason.
Yeah. When we get a better camera, it's gonna be close up, right on your face. Anyway, Rodney.
Face.
Peace, my brother.
All right, man.
Rodney.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Awesome.
We'll see you guys soon, okay? Like I said, first round's on me when you come.
Gotcha.
Come on up.
We will be there. You have been listening to Beers with Nigel, a show about beer and other stuff, hosted by Nigel Woodbury and that other guy, Nick Parker. Beers with Nigel is a proud member of the Fredcast Network, and it's available on your favorite podcast apps. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Beers with Nigel.